Today's video is basically going to be a list of like my top 5 plants that I regret losing. I 100% want these plants back. I think about them every time that I go and look at my plant collection and I'm like, dang it, like why are you gone? Why did you leave me? Why did you die? I swear to you, I feel like plants are not as hyped as they used to be before. And I feel like it's a good thing for those of us that were really excited about it and then sort of got like hit in the face with all of the crazy plant prices. I don't feel like the prices are that insane anymore, at least not for Hoya. Hoyas are still amazing, so I really don't know why they're not really being as in demand as they were before. I'm not sure if there are like other plants that sort of like have taken ownership of like the hype meter. I have no idea. We're just gonna go ahead and get into the video. The very first plant that is on my list, like as the top plant that I don't know how I let it die. Honestly, I don't know how I let it die. It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. It was the one plant that I was the most excited about, and it was actually like a recent purchase. So I don't know what happened, but my Hoya Soydowansis, one of these days I went into my plant room, I checked on all my plants, and then I saw it, and it was completely dried out. It was in pon, so I feel like maybe it was one of those plants that actually needed to be watered more than I thought, but I went in there after maybe, I want to say 2.5 weeks of not looking at it, and it was dead, like dead. That was fully my fault. I don't think that plant had bugs. Like, I don't think that plant had anything wrong with it. I literally think I just killed it because I didn't water it for 2.5 weeks. It's so upsetting. And the only listing of this plant, the only listing of it is $98. It's like, why? Why? Nobody wants this plant. Why is it so expensive? This is like the first time that I've seen this plant for sale, really, like online. And I think maybe that's why it's priced so high. But I legitimately have never heard anybody other than myself, and I think Sebeda from My Urban Jungle on Instagram, I think we're the only 2 people that have actually like talked about this plant before. So I don't know why it would be so high priced if it's not in demand. I guess maybe it's because it is like considered rare, but I loved that plant so much. I was so excited about that plant. My number 2 plant that I want to replace is another plant that's honestly painful to like think about. This is a plant that was doing so well for me, and then just all of a sudden it was like, I don't like you anymore, let me die. So it died. And talking about my Hoya Qinghanensis, I know that for a while there, it was like up there in hype, like completely up there in hype. It was sort of like, if you don't want to buy a serpens, or if you don't like serpens, then you'll probably like a chinghungensis, or like if you like bellas, like it was sort of in that sort of bubble of hype. I mean, I had an extra backup. I was fine. I thought it was all good. And then just all of a sudden it started dying, and I thought that maybe it was just water, maybe it was just, I don't know, maybe it was something that I was doing, so I just tried to fix it. I tried to give it more water. I tried to put Azmax on it thinking maybe it had spider mites or something. No, it just died. It just died on me. It just died. And I was so upset about it. I cut everything back, and now I literally have a piece that's like this big with like 2 leaves that's still trying to root in water right now. I know it's not going to be successful. I already see it not being successful. It was just really upsetting to no longer see that plant. And again, this plant is another plant that I thought, surely this plant grows so fast, so many people must have it. There must be cuttings of it everywhere now. I have not been able to find this freaking plant anywhere, like to replace it. I have not been able to find a single listing of this plant on Facebook or anything. Whenever I search Hoya Qinghanensis, like a bunch of other plants come up, but not the Qinghanensis. So I don't know. I really don't know how much they would be going for right now, but I would assume it would be less because, again, it's supposed to be a really easy rooting Hoya. Yeah, that's another plant that I'm honestly really upset that I lost, but I will surely be replacing it in the future soon, hopefully. But yeah, another plant that I really, really want to replace, but I'm honestly not sure I should replace, is my Hoya Caudata, just because I did have two of those plants and both of those plants died on me. So they were both in like completely separate environments. Like one of them was under my grow lights in my greenhouse. The other one was in a grow tent with like really strong lights and like humidity and stuff. And both of them did bad for me. So at this point, I don't know if I have the environment to keep that plant happy. So that's what makes me a little bit hesitant to purchase that plant again. But it is one of those plants that is just so beautiful. It was one of the plants that I think started my love for Hoya. Like, I thought that the Caudata like silvers were beautiful. I thought that it was a really unique looking plant. I freaking adored those flowers. I'm glad I was able to experience them, but I don't know if I would be willing to purchase that plant again or try to care for that plant again, knowing full well that I may not have the environment for it. So that's my third plant that I really want to replace. I really, really, really do. I just don't know if I will. And then sort of leaning on that, another plant that I love to death. Like I love Hoya Serpens, and again, that's one of the Hoyas that really made me fall in love with Hoyas in the very beginning of my Hoya journey. That plant was beautiful. Like that plant is the cutest little plant that I think you could ever own. It's adorable. It has little dimples. It has little fur, like it's tiny. It's such a cute plant, but I truly believe that that plant does so much better in moss, and I just can't take care of plants in moss. So I don't know. I don't know if I should like maybe try to make like a little terrarium for it or something, or try to, do something cute specifically so I can keep a serpens. I don't know. They're really expensive. However, I have been like looking on Etsy and I feel like the Hoya Serpents are less expensive than they used to be. I remember at sort of the height and peak of plant prices, Hoya Serpents were going for like 130, 100 plus dollars, and they were like tiny little 2-inch pots going for 100 plus dollars, and it was ridiculous. Like it was the dumbest thing ever. I was like, why would you sell a plant that like tiny and just borderline insignificant for that much money? Like, what are you doing? Stop it. You're like scamming people. Like, don't do that. It was a lot. Like, it was a lot, and I think it was mostly a lot because I think I had purchased my serpents for like $30 on eBay before like the hype went all crazy on it. I don't know. I feel like the decrease in price is definitely a lot better for me, and I am curious to see if it'll keep going down, to see if like people will stop buying that plant, or maybe like the demand for it will go down even more, so the price might go down even more. So I really want to purchase it if it does. I've already kind of been somewhat tempted to buy like the $45 ones, but again, I don't know if I should buy it because I know that I obviously killed it before, and I mean, I don't really want to kill it again. I don't want to waste another $50. So yeah, the last plant that I wanted to talk about, I don't feel like is like a crazy surprise, but my Hoya Daiki Eye, Hoya Daiki Eye, however you want to say it, that plant was gorgeous. I freaking loved that plant so much. Like, it was such a pretty plant, even though it was a diva, even though it was a pain in the butt. I really enjoyed keeping that plant. It was still growing for me. Like, it was beautiful when sun stressed. It was beautiful when not. I just think I really loved my like specimen specifically because of like how big and bushy and pretty it was. So I really want to find another specimen like that one, and not having in my collection makes me kind of sad. So I want to purchase one of those again. I did know that I think Gabriella Plants had the Hoya Daiki Eye on sale like one of these past weekends, and I really considered buying it. I was like in and out of the cart, in and out of the cart, and then I finally was like, no, you can't buy plants yet. You have to make sure that your plants are clean before starting to buy plants again. Those are just pretty much my top 5 plants that I really truly want to replace. I think that the Hoya Daiki Eyes sort of nowadays are going for a little bit less than they were before, because I know that there was a moment there the Hoya Daiki Eyes were very expensive, but I think now I've seen them go for like maybe $50 to $70 again, like really similar to like the serpens prices. And I mean, I think that price is fair, mostly just because the plant is a pain in the booty to keep. Like, it is such a diva. All of the things that people say about it is true. Any sort of fluctuation in temperature will make it upset. Like, any sort of fluctuation in watering will make it upset. Like, it's a plant. It's a plant that is not the best for beginners 100%. I don't know. I'm glad that plant prices are going down nowadays, because it makes me feel a little less guilty about buying new ones, trying to take care of other ones that are different. And then when potentially the plant prices go down even more, I can maybe circle back around to these plants and make sure that I'm actually trying to put a little bit more effort into their care and not spending as much money, essentially. So yeah, that's everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have you guys noticed the plant prices dropping, or is it just me? Am I being crazy? Lucas has noticed it. I don't know if you heard that, but Lucas noticed the price is going down. So yeah, if you have any comments about it, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. But if you like me or you like plant videos, definitely subscribe if you want to. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like below, and bye! That was an awkward outro.